What's good, everybody? Sean Show Love Rosenberg in the building. Back at it again. And all I got to say is bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, last week on June 10th, Tuesday, June 10th, I got to witness history in the making. I got to witness greatness and excitement. Ladies and gentlemen, I ended up going to the Grand National Tour. That's right. I went to go see Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And boy, I had a blast. Now, let me give y'all a little brief backstory how this experience came all about. This tour was announced late last year in early December. When I found out about this tour, I was like, I had to save my money. I had to literally start saving my money to get my ticket. And then I told my friends about it. And the best part is one of my friends was interested in going. And I asked her, which show do you prefer to go to? The one in Chicago on June 6th, which is a Friday, or the one in Detroit, which is on a Tuesday. Now, to tell y'all the truth, we was leaning towards going to the one in Chicago because that was close on a weekend. That was the one we were leaning towards to. But, something happened on my end that kind of messed that up because I had to take time off of work. I had to deal with something personally, so I wasn't able to start saving money at that time. I took like a hiatus due to something personal with me, so I had to wait until early February of this year. So after the hiatus, I started working again. I started back working and started to save my money for the trip and for the concert. Because of that hiatus, we ended up not doing the Chicago trip, so we decided to do the Detroit, well, not the Chicago trip, the Chicago show, but we decided to do the Detroit show instead. So the process of saving money started once I started returning to work. The money process started to develop. Then, of course, the Super Bowl, June 9th. Not June 9th, February 9th. My mistake. We watched the Super Bowl halftime show. So me and my friends, we were talking about the tour. So we had to watch the Super Bowl halftime show to see, how will it be for Kendrick to perform if we're going to see him live. And boy, Kendrick put on a show at the Super Bowl that even got me more hype to be like, okay, now we're going to go ahead and start the process of saving money. So everybody finally agreed to go to the concert. So next month was March. We started, we had the money saved. We were starting to get tickets. Now, tickets was definitely was causing a lot of problems. Well, was exhausting, but causing a lot of problems. We were trying to sit as a group, but that did not end up happening because we were one person short. So we decided to potentially sit separate. It was me and two of my friends, and then my other two friends ended up having to sit on the other side of the stadium at Ford Field. So we got So that's what's the plan. That's what happened. That's not what it initially what we wanted, but it is what it is. But yeah, it is what it is. We didn't get to sit next to each other, but at least we got to go to the concert. So after we purchased our tickets, which it was stressful on Ticketmaster, we started to save money because we decided to turn this going to the concert into a trip. So we decided to, stay in Detroit. We got ourselves a nice little place to stay at for that week, for those 3 days from June 9th through June 11th. So we started putting money to the side for that and all that. And then we waited for 2 months until, Kendrick and SZA land into Detroit. So the tour started in April 19th in Minneapolis, and then of course the next few days, the next few weeks, he he started breaking records in terms of attendance and revenue. Now I'm not gonna get into that. I'll probably get into that maybe a little bit towards the end of this video. But we waited, we got everything. I had to, and during the process of that, everybody started to, get our outfits together. We had like outfits for the show. I had to start, ordering my clothes. Well, ordering my outfit to put that together. I had to get a lot of accessories for stuff. Like I had to get a portable fan because obviously it's going to be hot inside the stadium. I had to get me a portable charger. You know, I was going to use a vlogging stick, but due to the rules of concerts, I couldn't able to use that. So I just had to use the phone. I just had to use the phone by hand instead. And then of course we had to have cash to use to buy merch. That was the plan. I had all my stuff packed up and everything. I was ready to go. Then we fast forward to the actual week. So Monday, June 9th, we head down to Detroit. We stayed at the place we were staying at, which is an Airbnb. We stayed there, and the Airbnb was nice. We got the chance to chill and everything. Play some play some board games and all that. Got to eat and everything, and then of course we all went to bed just to get ready for the big day. Then we woke up. We ate some breakfast. We ate some brunch to to make sure we eat good, so we don't have to go go to like the show to order. Well, we did order food, but we didn't have to like eat to make us last long for the day until later. Well, yeah, until we had, you guys get the point. Until we had to um until we go hungry. Well, not go hungry until we eat again later on. So we get ready for the show. Everybody's getting dressed, getting shower up, looking good, and I was the first one already dressed and everything, and the excitement I was because it was getting real. It was literally getting real. I cannot tell you the most. It was getting real, where to the point I started. I started. I was excited, but at the same time, I was nervous as well because this was my first mainstream concert. So I don't know what I was expecting in this concert. But this was my reaction at um this was my reaction of excitement I was before for the concert. This was my excitement. So check it out. Today is the day. We're gonna go see Kendrick and SZA. The gang is getting ready right now, And this is about to be the greatest experience I ever had. As y'all can see, got on the Kendrick merch. They not like us, or they say Drake. They not like us. And yeah, this is gonna be a great experience. You know, our Uber ride's supposed to come in 2 hours, so be on the lookout too. That was my initial excitement. You know, I was like sitting down waiting for the gang to get ready because our Uber ride, you know, our one of the, one of my friends booked the Uber ride for the show. So we were sitting, so we were all just waiting and all that. Then, then 2 hours later, our Uber ride came, and then we got on the ride, and boy, when we got there, it was like literally packed out there outside. Everybody was in dressing good, you know, wearing merchandise and everything. It was just excitement everywhere. We ended up taking some pics and all that before the show even started, before we went inside. And this is me and one of my homeboys, you know, excitement. A shout out to my homeboy Isaiah. He was excited too. So this is me and Isaiah's reaction. Check it out. All right, so we made it to Fort Field.
Yes, sir.
With my boy Zay right here.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
What up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, man, this stadium is huge. Like, for real, this stadium overall is huge.
I'll show y'all boys what it look like when we get inside, man.
Yeah.
This line is long.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting crazy.
That's how hype we was during the show. That's how hype we was overall. And then, you know, we started walking in, you know, the ticket. Then we, you know, of course, security check. We had, you know, they had to check our bags. Well, not bags. They had to check to make sure, you know, we don't got to check our bags to make sure, you know, everything's good, like our phones and wallets and portable fans and all that. I had a bag, but they said security said the bag was too big, so I ended up throwing away the bag that I once had. It was like $4 I bought, but it didn't matter. So we ended up going in, got I ended up getting like it's kind of like a ticket, but it was kind of in the back. It had like a barcode where you can scan to get merchandise online. That's what I had. That's how excited I was. All right, so I'm in the building. Got my pass. Looking bright. And everything. We got in. We walked around for a bit, you know, to check out the atmosphere of what it's like at the concert. And by the way, Ford Field is huge. Like I said, this is my first time going to Ford Field, and it was huge. I mean, huge from the inside. This is how my initial reaction was to walking in the Ford Field. Yeah, that was Ford Field. So then after that, we ended up, you know, snacking on something. We went to the concession stand to get something to snack on. You know, I ended up getting some chicken tenders and some fries. They were all right. You know, it didn't really have any flavor, but it was still good at the end of the day. Then we got to see what the stage looked like, and boy, the stage was huge. This was my reaction to the stage. That's how big the stage was. I'm telling you, that's how big the stage was. And then, you know, me and my two friends, We ended up going to our seats, and my other two friends ended up going to their seats, and we were just sitting there, just waiting for a few minutes for the show to start and all that. I got a good view on the seats.
I don't want my money to go to waste. I'm not as hungry as I thought I was. I need some food.
We got good seats as well, great view for us to watch, and then 7 o'clock hits, the show starts. We were waiting for Mustard to come out, and boy, DJ Mustard hyped hyped everybody up. We was excited. We was dancing. He played some classic songs. He played some of the newer songs from different artists. And the funniest part, he played Miley Cyrus "Party in the USA." This is the most funniest clip. Check it out. That's how funny it was. And he said, "This song is too gangster for me." I was laughing. I was laughing. Then 8 o'clock hits, and then I looked at the stage, and I noticed the stage. I noticed the stage. The stage. I think it had the stage how it's set up. The floor, the middle part of the floor went underneath, and that's when the GNX car was at. And then the interlude to Kendrick Lamar and SZA came on, and boy, I was hype. And then the first song Kendrick performs was wrecked out murals. And this is how excited I was.
Kill me if I didn't make it. I'm possessed by a spirit that they can't take it. Used to bump the car to 3, held my holy chain proud around me. Think my home burning move.
And then he started performing his song "Wrecked Out Murals," and then a sketch came on where Kendrick was sitting. It's kind of like he was sitting in an interrogation room. That's where he was sitting at, in an interrogation room. In this skit, I guess the person talking to Kendrick was asking him, like, basically, why do you want the party to die? And Kendrick kind of explained to him, like, basically, it was basically explained, I think he said something like, I couldn't remember what he said, but I think I totally forgot. Like, y'all forgive me. He had a bunch of sketches from different time frame in the show, so I couldn't remember everything he said. But the sketch was dope, by the way. And after the sketch, he performs "Squabble Up." Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up. That's one of my favorite songs off the GNX album. That's one of my favorite songs. And then after he performs "Squabble Up," he performs "King Kunta," another classic song from the "To Pimp a Butterfly." I think I butchered the albums, his second album, which is his third album overall, but his second major label album, "To Pimp a Butterfly." I think I butchered the name some of the times. It's hard to pronounce it, but he performed that song. Then he performed "Element" off the Damn album, which is another favorite song from that album as well. And then he performs the first half of "TV Off." That's how hype I was for this record. He performed that. All I ever want was a black grand national. F being rational. Give them what they asked for. That's how hype I was for the song. And then the car went down again through the stage. And then he does another, then another sketch come on. And it was SZA. SZA was on the sketch. You know, basically it's kind of like her introducing herself to Detroit on the show, and then they perform their hit record off the deluxe version of SOS, which is Lana, their hit track 30 for 30. And then after that song, SZA and then it was SZA's turn. Then it was SZA's turn to do her part of the show. She performs "Love Galorum." I think I butchered the name, but I think it's called "Love Galorum" from yeah, I think I said it right. "Love Galorum" from the Control album, which is her debut album. She performed that song, and then after that, she performs "Broken Clocks," another song from her debut album, and then The Weeknd from all three songs from her debut album, The Weeknd as well. And by the way, these songs were fire. Now, before the tour, I actually had to listen to SZA's music to understand where she was coming from. Now, we're gonna get into that towards the end of the show, end of the video, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that towards the end of the video. I'll get to that. Then, after SZA did her set, then here comes the sketch again, another interlude from Kendrick Lamar. And then, after the sketch, he performs my favorite diss track during his battle with Drake, which is Euphoria. And this is my reaction to Euphoria when he performed it.
Snow is looking paranoid and I'm spiraling. Moving just like a degenerate. Every antic is feeling distasteful. Calculation, that's calculated. How do you predict your angle?
Like, I went crazy. I went crazy when he performed that song. I went absolutely crazy, ballistic when that song came out. When that song came out, when he performed that. After Euphoria, he performs Hey Now featuring Dodie Six, another song from the GNX. I love that song too. And then after Hey Now, he performs Reincarnated. And this is a song that was sampled by Tupac. I think it's off the soundtrack to, I guess the movie Tupac played in was his. I think it's called Wild West Gang. I don't think that's the name of the title, but if you guys can help me with the name of the soundtrack or the name of the movie that um, Tupac was in, please put it in the comments down below. But this song that Reincarnated was sampled by Tupac. That Tupac had a song called Made Niggas. Made Niggas. That's the name of the song. He sampled that. He performed that. That's another song I enjoyed. Then another sketch comes from him, and And then after the sketch, he performs "Humble" off the Damn album, which is another song that's one of my favorites off the Damn album. He performs that. Then after that, he performs Backstreet Freestyle from the Good Kid, Mad City album. He performs that, another one, and then he performs Swimming Pools as well. But the beat was different from the original beat he used. I think he used like a different beat for that. which is another song I love from the Good Kid, Mad City song album. And then he performs Mad City, but he put a little twist. He put a little twist on the instrumental. He decided to, I think, not rap but sing over "Sweet Love" by Anita Baker. I think that's the name of the song. He performed that, and he actually killed that with the Anita Baker instrumental. That was pretty dope. And then he performs "All Right," which is another song I love from the To Pimp a Butterfly album. We gonna be all right. That song is, I love that song. I'm glad he performed it. And then he performs "Man in the Garden." I love this record too because "Man in the Garden," he kind of speaks on everything that's happening right now with the success and the generational run he has. Basically, of course, in every verse he says, "I deserve it all," and he does. Kendrick deserves it all because of the success he's having. And then the interlude comes back on, and I believe the interlude, of course, I believe it's SZA again. She does her sketch, and then here comes SZA once again performing her songs. Um, I I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be hard because I can't pronounce the name of. I know the Baby Daddy songs, not Rich Baby Daddy, but the other one, Scorses. I think I butchered the name. Scorses Baby Daddy. If you guys can help me with the pronounce of this song, of the title of this song, it really helps. I think I butchered the name, but she performs that. Then after that, she performs F2F. I think this is a feature song. I don't know if this is from I can't I don't know if this is a feature song from somebody else's album. If you guys let me know this song, if it's from her album or from somebody else's album, please let me know in the comments down below. That can really help me with better understanding. Then after that, she performs Garden from I guess the Control album, I believe it was Garden. And then after Garden, she performs Kitchen. Then after Kitchen, she performs Blind. And then after Blind, she does the interlude again. Interlude, which is the sketch again for her from her set. Then after the sketch, she performs Forgiveless. And then after Forgiveless, she performs Low. And that was a portion of her set. Now, this kind of worried me too. I don't know which set it was, but I think it was Act 4 of her set. But the dancers, they fell through the stage. I thought they hurt themselves, but it was a part of their act. So I did gasp a little bit. Gasp a little bit. Thought something bad happened, but everything was all good. It was just dancing. It was just their performance. So after SZA set, both Kendrick and SZA comes out and do their collab tracks, of course. Down, I think is Doves in the World. Doves in the Wind. Dope track from them. And then they perform the hit single from the Black Panther album, which is the soundtrack of the 2018 movie Marvel's Black Panther. They perform their hit, All the Stars. And boy, that whole building had lights in the air and they were performing that. That was crazy. That's one of my favorite songs off the Black Panther album. I'm glad they performed that. And after that, after they performed that, they ended up performing Love as well off the Damn album. after that, um, they did an interlude, and I think in this interlude it was funny. I think I believe I don't know if this is the right one, but they were driving up. Um, I could be wrong. I think they were driving up a gas station, and I think they were kind of going back and forth, arguing a little bit back and forth. I could be wrong, but the funniest part is what SZA said. All your Mexicans are, all your fans are Mexicans. I laughed at that. That was funny. Shout out to all the Mexicans out there. You guys are great people. Shout out to you guys. And then after the interlude, Kendrick comes back out and performs another song off the GNX called Dodgers Blue. I really love this record too. It's so laid back and unique as well. This song is really dope. You know, I think this song features a bunch of. I think the most notable feature is featuring. I believe it was one of those people was Rowdy Rich. I forgot the others that were featured. I got to look at the track list again, probably on my own time get to get the other names that were featured. Cause y'all know me, I don't like to butcher people's names, so I just said Rowdy Rich was the only. Not he wasn't the only one that was featured, but he was the most notable one I know that was on that song. And then after Dodgers Blue, another sketch again by Kendrick Lamar. And then he performs Peekaboo. Of course, I have a clip for that. Check it out. Bing, bop, boom, bop, bam. That is my favorite part of that song. And then after Peekaboo, he performs like that. Now, like that is the song that started this whole battle between him and Drake. Now, initially, this song, initially, a lot of people are going to say it was first person shooter, but that was just like that was kind of like the final straw of the subliminals for over a decade that Kendrick and Drake has been pushing, that has been going back and forth. Like that is actually the first song to actually kick off the battle. I'm glad he performed this. You know, that's one of my top three favorite songs right now in terms of the battle that Kendrick and Drake had. And then after like that, he performed another classic hit from Damn DNA, which is another track I love, which is one of my favorite tracks off the Damn album. He also performed that as well. And then after Damn, this is one of my favorite tracks of 2025. He and this is not from his album. This is actually from a feature he did recently. And that song is Good Credit. This song is actually a Playboy Cardi song that Kendrick decided to hop on. Now, this is all Playboy Cardi's third studio album, I Am Music, which by the way, the album was fire. I definitely enjoy it. Now, to be honest, I'm not really a big, huge Playboy Cardi fan, but I do recognize his talent. Like when I listened to this album, he had a unique sound and it was so different and unique. It was just sounding so different. And I know a lot of people call Playboy Cardi a mumble rapper. I don't really think Playboy Cardi is really like a mumble rapper at all. You know, a lot of people may not understand what he says half the time, but I do. I actually understand what Playboy Cardi is saying. So this is one of my favorite tracks, and this is my reaction when they play Good Credit. This is my initial. This is my reaction. You got to check it out. So, yeah, that was my reaction, and I went crazy over that record. I was dancing and everything. And then after Good Credit, he performs "Count Me Out." That was that was the record he performed. And then after "Count Me Out," he performs "Money Trees," which I enjoy as well, featuring J Rock as well. That's another song I definitely enjoy. And then and then after Money Trees, he plays Poetic Justice. Poetic Justice, I meant. Now, this is arguably a Drake feature, and y'all know how I feel about Drake. Well, I'm not gonna get into that because I already talked about how I lost respect for Drake over the lawsuit and everything. So we're not gonna get into that. I already talked about that in previous videos, but this is mainly more about Kendrick and SZA in the Grand National Tour. So yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Even though I talked about the beef a little bit, but we're not gonna get too deep into the beef because I already talked about that in previous videos. So he performs Poetic Justice. He performed his part, and then after after he performs that, I believe it went to interlude again, and then SZA comes out and does her set once again. Because they kind of went back and forth with their sets, which I enjoy. Because it gets instead of like two separate sets, it's better to do like in the back and forth sets, which I enjoy too. I wish a lot more artists can do that if they're gonna do like a collab tour instead of like individual sets. Like kind of go back and forth with the sets. Like one artist comes out, then the next artist comes out, then that same artist come back out, then that it's kind of like yeah, you guys get the point. I like when artists do that better. So SZA comes back out, does her set again. Then she performs Diamond Diamond Boy. She performs that. Dope song. I definitely enjoyed. Then she performs Shirt. Another definitely enjoyed that song. Then she performs Kill Bill from the SOS album, which I enjoy. I love Kill Bill from that album. Then she performs Snooze, another hit record from the SOS album. I definitely enjoyed. I love Snooze. Then she does her sketch again with the interlude. And then, of course, after after her sketch, she performs once again. She performs "Crybaby," which I enjoyed. I like "Crybaby." Then she performs "Saturn," which is another record I enjoyed from her. I think Saturn is one of my favorite records off the SOS album. I really enjoy that. Definitely has replay value. So as Snooze and Kill Bill, I can definitely enjoy that. Dope record. Then she performs "Good Days." Dope record, by the way. Another dope record. And then she performs "Rich Baby Daddy." Now, I'm going to be honest. I was unenthused with this record because this is all, of course, Drake's album "For All the Dogs" that also features Sexy Red. Now, if you guys know me, I'm not a big fan of this song. I'm really not. This song to me it just does not hit, and y'all know how I feel when it comes to certain songs, and y'all know how when it comes to um, Sexy Red, she's popular, but I just cannot get into her music. I just cannot get into the music. It really just does not hit me. So I didn't. I'm everybody else enjoyed it, but except for me, I didn't really care for that song at all. But yeah. After they perform Rich Baby Daddy, they perform BMF, which is another song I enjoyed as well. And then she also performs Kiss Me More, which is another song I enjoyed as well from the show as well. And then after her set, Kendrick comes back out. In the interlude. And this sketch right here was the sketch that got me hyped. Because Kendrick was talking to the person, and the person was like, drop, 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 drop. And after that, Kendrick smirked, and then I heard, psst, I see dead people. And then he performs Not Like Us. He performed that. And I went crazy because I was actually talking to my friends and I was hoping that Kendrick Lamar performs Not Like Us because due to the lawsuit, I was hoping that due to the lawsuit, I was hoping that Kendrick would perform that song because, well, not because, well, not, well, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know. I'm trying to get my words in. I was worried. I meant to say I was worried that Kendrick would not perform this song due to the lawsuit, but Kendrick did not care. He performed it, and I went crazy. I went crazy, and then everybody went, and then I heard the whole stadium say A minor, and the rest was history after that. After that song, SZA comes back out, and then they perform the last two songs. And then, of course, they perform Luther. If this world were mine, going through the 7 days, talking like it's hot. If this world's mine, I take the keys and make the mother cry. That was, everybody was singing it. I was singing it. You can hear me in the background singing while I was just having a good time. And then after that, after Luther, they performed the final song, Gloria. Which this is my reaction to Gloria. Check it out. That was Gloria right there. And man, all I gotta say is this was one of the best shows I ever had. Not best shows I ever had, best shows I ever witnessed. Something to remember. And this was my final thoughts on this show.
Okay, so I just left the Kendrick concert and it was lit, y'all. I had the best ever. Kendrick performed some of the songs that I liked. SZA performed some of the songs I liked. It was the best thing ever. So, 10 out of 10 for me. That was the best show. I would definitely love to come back and see Kendrick again in the near future. Shout out to K-Dot and SZA. Y'all the best.
That was my final thoughts. Then after that, we head back to the Airbnb we're staying at. Got something to eat. Then head back. And then after that, the following day, came back home to Lansing, Michigan. Now, that was the show. That was a show to remember. Shout out to SZA and Kendrick for putting on an historical show. This was something deep down in my heart that I really, really enjoyed. This was a show to remember. I can't wait for future shows. If they ever go back on tour again, well, probably not a collab tour, but probably like solo tours again. Like, I definitely want to go see Kendrick in the future. The next time if he drops an album, I definitely want to go see him on tour again. And if SZA ever drops another album pretty soon, I definitely want to go see a SZA tour as well by herself. Just a solo tour. I definitely want to go see that. But yeah, shout out to both of them. And then after that, it was reported that the show was sold out and it reached an estimate over 50,600 people, fans in attendance, which is crazy. So once again, shout out to SZA and Kendrick. They put on a good show. But yeah, that was my experience, ladies and gentlemen. Something to always remember. But yeah, shout out to them once again. By the way, I wasn't able to get merch because the line was too long. I was like, man, I wanted a t-shirt. I wanted a SZA t-shirt and a t-shirt from both of them, with both of them on there. But I ended up ordering a t-shirt online on the website instead. So the t-shirt should be coming within a few weeks. And then might ordered another t-shirt, which with both of them on there as well. I'll probably order that in a few days or in a few weeks or so whenever I have the money to. But yeah, it was unfortunate I couldn't get merch on the show at there, but I was able. But at the same time, I was still able to go and witness greatness and excitement and history. So yeah, that was my experience of the show. But yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Also, follow me on my social media platforms as well. Will be in the link. Also, join the Discord as well. Mikhail's survey, that will also be in the link. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Was you at the Detroit show on June 10th? And what is your favorite moment as well from that show? Because my favorite moment, multiple favorite moments. He performed Euphoria, Good Credit, 30 for 30, Luther, Like That, and Not Like Us. That was my favorite moments of the show. SZA performing Kill Bill, Snooze, Saturn. She also performed some of the she performed, I believe, I think she performed what's the other one? I couldn't remember. I think she performed what's another one she performed? I think Love Galorum. I think that's another song I like from I think that's another favorite moment. I wish SZA could have performed Go Gina. I really love that record. I think she did a little bit. I don't know. I couldn't remember. But yeah, she performed. She killed it too. Shout out to her. She definitely killed it. And shout out to Kendrick once again. They definitely killed it. But yeah, that was my experience. So, without further ado, I'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.